Morning, my friends. It's Thursday, the 20th of June, 2019. A warm welcome along to this morning's United Kingdom talk coming to you from Bracknell in Berkshire. And what looks like it's going to be a lovely sunny day out there. They said on the weather, dry. I mean, how does this work? It'll be very dry with a few showers. Well, it's not very dry then, is it? Lying old Carol Kirkwood on there this morning. She was in Ascot this morning, Carol Kirkwood. She's the lovely, lovely weather lady that I like very much. And she reports from whoever's doing the weather, they take it from different places. They stick them over in, I don't know, on the Highlands of Scotland or in some castle somewhere. This morning she is in Ascot and she had this great big hat on. Apparently it's going to be very windy. So all these ladies are going to have their hats blown off. There's some ghastly people go to that Ascot, you know. Have you seen them? People fighting and all that. Mind you, that's not the only fight I have to report to you about today. I mean, on a holiday camp. On a holiday camp, I kid you not, this is in this morning's Metro, and in fact it's in quite a lot of the papers. And this is just society, right? Because when I used to go to holiday camps, there were no security staff. They didn't need them. People knew how to behave themselves. I just don't get it. Look at this. One bloke's dead. Where was he? Butlin's on holiday. Don't know the whole story, but it says in the paper, a man has died after being punched during a bar fight at Butlin's camp. We never, ever saw a single fight when we used to go to Pontins. I'll tell you that now. Never as a child did I ever see a single fight happening at a Pontins holiday camp. Even when I go to Haven holidays, I've witnessed there people being chucked out of the, you would call it the ballroom, you know, years ago. Just we call it the entertainment complex now. I've seen people thrown out of there by security staff because they're too drunk and rowdy. And then, of course, starting off with the security staff as well, people don't know how to behave anymore. I wonder how we got to this. How did it get to this, that people are just so angry all the time, aren't they? This man, who was 52, fell to the floor and hit his head after he was punched at the holiday resort at Butlin's Bognor Regis. Yeah, I mean, the victim, dreadful. The victim from Bedford was taken to hospital in Brighton, but died yesterday, 4 days after he was hit. Another man, 31, from Wandsworth, London West, where I used to live, was arrested on suspicion of grievous bodily harm after the fight late on Friday night. He's been bailed, but expected to be re-arrested. I mean, it's just dreadful. It says the bar was busy at the time of the assault. Well, they usually are. You know, these bars in holiday camps usually are very, very busy. But the difference is people just don't know how to act or behave anymore. We've seen the stories on airlines and places like that. In shops. There was a story on the BBC Breakfast News this morning that Naga was on there this morning. She weren't too bad today. She was a bit calm today. Naga was on, and they were reporting that shops, I think the Co-op was one mentioned in particular, are asking the government to make theft and violence in shops worse. What do you call it now? You know, a worse punishment than they have at the moment, because it's rife. You know, not so much nicking so much like sweets and things like that, but people literally reaching out or jumping over the counter to steal cigarettes and alcohol. It's dreadful. People don't know how to act anymore. How did this happen? I still think it happens because all these universities and everyone else have told all the kids that go there if they can have anything they want. So they do. They just take it. Dreadful. Let's say hello to some of you this morning. Hello to Roy the boy over there on YouTube Live. Good morning, Roy. Welcome to the show. Claire's there. Hello to Claire, who says, I've seen the drunks at holiday camps too. Had to call the police in the middle of the night at a South Coast caravan park. Thought some bloke was murdering his wife. This is how people are now, Claire. We never saw this as children. I'm sure some of you used to go to holiday camps, whether it be Pontins, Butlins, Haven, what was the other one? The Yellowcoats, Warners, anywhere like that. There was never any of this going on. Why don't people know how to behave anymore? Awful. Morning on Facebook Live, Diane Jebb. Good morning to you, Diane. First message of the show in there. Hello to the delightful Ray Reynolds. Hello, honky tonks. Hello, Ray. I hope you're all right, mate. Mark Fletcher in the house. Good morning, Mark. Mike Reese Ponto. Good morning. You are awful, but I like you. Oh, yes. Oh, he was great, wasn't he? The old Dick Emery. I watch his old stuff on YouTube and it's just hilarious. We love Dick Emery. I know a lot of you of an age remember the marvellous talent that was Dick Emery, who had us in stitches on a Saturday night. Just for half an hour, every Saturday night he was on the Dick Emery show. Please, if you're young and you've never seen it before, get all the offence crap out of your head and watch Dick Emery. You will be in stitches of laughter. Morning to Adam the plumber. He's on his way down to Crawley, which I think is down the M23. If I'm right in thinking, Hawley, Horley is down there, isn't it? Hawley, down that way. That's why I used to have to take a car for a service. I once had a car, an FSO Polonaise, which I bought brand. It was my first brand new car years and years ago. It was a Polish car. My God, it was dreadful. It was absolutely dreadful. What would happen is that you'd sit in traffic and it would start choking, you know, and eventually the engine would just die. I was convinced it was some sort of overheating, and it was in and out of the garage constantly, and they never fixed it. And I sold it because it was just a pain in the arse. The car would literally die in traffic, and you'd have to start it again. And it never wouldn't restart, but it was just a pain. It would be struggling. It sounded like there was something blocked up somewhere, and either the air or the petrol couldn't get through to the engine. That's how it sounded. And it would go in and they'd say, well, we cleaned up the carburetors again and all this business. I never was able to fix the problem. And I actually sold it before I finished paying for it. I just couldn't get rid of it. And after that, I had a Ford Escort, second-hand Ford Escort, silver one, which I liked very much. So that was down at Hawley. And opposite the car place was a supermarket, perhaps a Londis or somewhere like that. But there was a park there. There was a park in Hawley, and I used to leave the car there and just walk down to the park and lay in the sun. Oh, it was quite a nice day out, actually. But I'd have to take a day off work to go all the way there, because I was living in Wandsworth at the time. So that was a journey and a half just to go and get the car service. Not like now. You know, I jump in the car, 10 minutes down the road, I go to the Toyota. I've got to pop in there today, actually. There's some paperwork that hasn't come through the post. Yes, Roy used to love Dick Emery. Benny Hill, yeah, Benny Hill as well. Hilarious comedy, those two. That's right. Probably the fuel filter. I don't know what it was, Roy. I'm not a car person, unfortunately. Hello to Eric Johnson. Good morning, Eric. Welcome to the show. Terry Hinton. Good morning to Terry. Matthew Van is back again. Hello, Matthew. Welcome. Murtaza Jut. Good morning to you. Adam says, I've always said society is changing over the last 20 years. When I was a child, if you did something wrong, you were punished for it. The cane or the slipper or a slap round the face. I had a slap round the face a few times. You didn't do it again. Not anymore. Oh, you can't hit them. You've got to talk to them, understand them. Yeah, that's why they're running amok. I saw videos last night of, literally crowds of kids, and they were nicking someone's bike, some bloke's bike. This bloke was cycling along, they've stopped him, and they were trying to get his bike up. There were loads of them. There must have been 40 or 50 kids surrounding this bike in a council housing estate somewhere in London. It's frightening, it really is. And this is, my personal feeling, is this because punishment has gone out the window. That's my personal feeling of it, okay? It's all very well being lefty. Oh, you can't do this, you can't do this. Oh, you must talk to them. Well, it's not working, is it, you idiots? Jeez. Adam says, I've always said society was changing over the last 20 years. When I was a child, if you did something wrong, you were punished a cane or the slipper, or good, telling off, or a smack. There is simply no discipline anymore. I remember I was at a friend's house several years ago, and the child was misbehaving, so the mother said, stop that, otherwise I'll give you a smack. To which the child replied to that, and I will call social services. See? Also, and they lie. Children lie. Either, not too bad lies or serious lies. Seriously. Even my great nephew George. I was sitting there over in Cyprus with him a couple of months ago now, and we were watching the telly. I think, YouTube. We weren't doing much on there, really. It was just on, basically. And then his dad came in and he picked up the remote and he wanted to put something else on, which was okay, no problem at all. So he's flicking over this. And George said, "Oh, Dad, Chris really, 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 really wants to watch YouTube. No, please put it back on, Dad. Chris really, really, really... I've never said anything of the sort. Never said anything of the sort." And then I think great nephew Harry as well. And these are only little children. Remember that, 5, 6, 7 years old. Little Harry, something to do with, I can't remember what it was, the living room carpet or something like that. And he made something up about, "Mum, Chris has done this." And of course, the parents know immediately they're lying. Children lie. They do. And on a more serious side of things, this is why they can't. I told you, this is why they can't get scout leaders and teachers, because people are frightened. A child will say, "Oh, he touched me." No one's touched anyone. But they believe the child straight away. This is where it's all going wrong, you see. Of course, there are dodgy people around who do stuff like that. But I think the majority of us are fairly, normal people. Not doing things like that. But it only takes a child to say, "Hello," oh, da, 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 and then immediately that person is accused. Dreadful. That's why they can't find people to do scouts and teachers and other child-related things because of that. They now believe the child straight away. I don't know where it's all going to. Let's have a look here. Good morning, Stuart Skinner. Morning, Stuart. Happy Corpus Christi Day. Yes, indeed it is. It's a bank holiday, and this and most other Catholic states in good old Germany. Sadly not here, Stuart. It's Corpus Christi today. Oh, yes. Hail, Redeemer, King Divine, Priest and Lamb, and all that one. That's one of my favourite hymns of all time, that one. Hail, Redeemer, King Divine. Morning to La Belle. Good morning, my emerald-eyed hunk of burning love. That's me. Burning, burning, burning down the... Oh, no, that's Tina Turner, isn't it? You know the one. What's that Burning Love one by Mr. Elvis Presley? Oh, yes. Morning to Paul and Lou. Good morning to you. All right, welcome along. Roy saw the one as well, the same. They were trying to nick a motor scooter. Okay, it was a motor scooter rather than a bicycle. But there must have been 30 or 40 young people gathered around this motorcycle, nickeling the bike. It was absolutely frightening. Frightening. Running around with knives. I'm so glad I'm not in London or any of the cities. I would not want to live in a city. I don't care how nice it is. Certainly not here in the UK. Abroad is different. You go to Italy and watch how the children behave over there. It's this damn country. It's this country. Even we were in Italy a number of years ago, about 5 years ago, me and my mate in Rome, visiting all the wonderful places there that they have there, all those old ruins. I looked for a while. I looked in the mirror and visited myself while I was in the hotel as I was visiting old ruins. And certainly at night time, you never saw children around at night, really, playing in the streets or anything. And the women there are dressed beautifully. None of this stuff walking around with crop tops on and your fat hanging out all over the place. It's not a pleasant look. It really isn't. And the blokes themselves, all dressed quite respectively. No one's walking around with trousers halfway hanging down their arses. It's this damn country. It is. Dreadful. Good. Well, as I say, it's a sunny day today. There was only 2 of us in the pool yesterday. When I went up to the swimming pool, only 2 of us up there, which was quite nice. We had a whole side each to us. Came back here, had some lunch, and my it's not new, you see, my newly refurbished computer arrived. Bang on time. They said it would be with me between 1:03pm and 2:03pm. At 1:03pm, ding dong, on my Ring video doorbell alarm. I rushed to the door, so excited. There was a man with a very, very large... Sorry? A large what? I haven't finished the sentence yet. Let me finish the sentence, please. There was a man there with a very, very large box. And I opened it, and there it was, my newly refurbished computer, which I set up in the living room. It's got it doesn't have a wireless card in it. It's got one of those little USB wireless. Good morning, Maureen. Just texting in this morning. Morning, Maureen. It's got a little thing in the back of the computer which connects to the wireless, so that's fine. And I spent most of the day setting that up yesterday. Everything works like a dream. There was an awful lot of updates to do that. One of the first things you must do when you buy a new computer is get a virus scanner thing on there. Although Windows does have its own one, Defender. I now use AV Security, which is a free one. I used to use McAfee, and I was with McAfee for years and years and years, but they're so expensive. They want 90 quid a year. 90 quid. Well, you can use, there's lots of free ones on the internet. I use AV across most of my computers now, and I've also got a paid one called Malwarebytes, which looks for malware. So after I'd done the Windows updates, I then ran the Malwarebytes and the AV one. I did a couple of scans on that just to check the computer was all right. Because you don't know, you know, you bought a refurbished computer. Someone dodgy might have put some sort of software on there so they can see what you're typing and things like that. So I run all those first and everything was fine there. So that took a number of hours to do all those updates. And then I put on the broadcasting software on there. I can't put the cameras on there yet because obviously they're at I leave these little webcams at the caravan. So that's all well and good. The only thing I will say is that the wireless is a little bit slow on it. So I checked this on Google, and it turns out that the USB wireless little plugs that you plug, if you haven't got a wireless card in your computer, you can buy these little wireless USB things and just plug them in the back of the computer. It's a bit slow. I don't think it's so slow that it would affect the running of the computer, but it's certainly not as fast as I was doing like a speed check, and on my normal wired computer it's running at about 110 meg down and about 5 meg up. On the USB wireless, the refurbished one, it's running at about 23 meg coming down, but still 5 meg going up. So what I might do is wire that straight into the router at the caravan, you know, get a Ethernet cable type thing and run that all round, and that'll be fine. That'll probably pick up the speed a lot better there. So that's it. That's all working well so far, and I think that'll be fine. So I'll be installing that probably in the caravan on Tuesday. So you won't get a show Tuesday morning, boys and girls, or at least you won't at first, unless I'm able to do it quickly, which may well be the case. I don't know, but I'll see how fast the wireless is there. It might be quicker there. If not, I'll run a cable. All right. I think everyone's talking. Oh, there we are. JP's in the house. Good morning to John Parrish. Morning to you, sir. Michael Pullman's there. Good morning, Michael. LaBelle says the parents don't parent anymore. Kids don't have the fear of God's places in them by their parents. They don't. They don't care. And people don't mind their business when it comes to how others raise their kids. You're absolutely right. You're so right, LaBelle. You should have had children yourself. You should have had children, LaBelle. You should become a house mother. That's a mother like on Pose. Oh, I'm so disappointed. My mate came round last night. We were going to watch episode 2 of Pose. So we've looked at that putlocker and can't find it. Or I think we found it eventually and it just wouldn't work for some reason. The whole putlocker thing, that's how I've been watching Pose, because it's not available here yet, Series 2. And also Chernobyl is not working anymore. So I don't know what's happened there. It's a weird thing, isn't it? Pose and Putlocker, but on Putlocker and Chernobyl. So I'll have to have a bit of digging going around for that. But we're a little bit disappointed we couldn't find that yesterday. Never mind. Morning to Darren Yates. Welcome to the show, Darren. So, yes, I had a bit of a sleep. I got up and I'd done some more cuttings. I'm doing lots of cuttings at the moment. They're ever so easy. A lot of people often say, you know, how difficult it is to get plants growing. But basically, almost everything that I've got a cutting off, what you got to do, you look at your shrub, right? You don't want the bit that's growing the flower. Look at the shrub and look for the new growth. It's quite easy to tell, you know, generally old growth, the leaves are a bit darker than the new growth. So the bit's on the end. And you want it, I don't know, 2 or 3 inches long, something like that. You cut it. Take off the bottom leaves, and if it's quite hard, then just damage the side of the stalk at the bottom, you know, where you've cut it. Just damage it slightly literally by scraping it with a knife, you know, so you remove that sort of green bit and go down to the white, and then just stick it in a little thing of earth. That's it. Now, if you look at that, a few hours later, if it's still, strong like that, then it's worked. Okay? If it's flopped down like that, then give it a 24 hours or so. But if it's still flopped down like that, it hasn't worked. But generally, you put it in there and give it a good water. Okay? Water is the key, I think, to this. So you got your pot of earth. Before you even done the cutting, make sure that earth is soaking wet. Absolutely soaking wet. Right? Then you do your cutting. You get your little bit of new growth. Cut. Scrape a little bit at the bottom and stick it in. Be careful how you stick it in. You don't want to, bend that bit at the bottom. Stick it straight in the ground, pack it round a little bit, and then give it another good water. That water, the earth needs to be soaking, and it needs to continue being soaking for a few weeks. 2 or 3 weeks or so. And that gives the roots to them where they will start coming from that again. But I took another 3 cuttings yesterday from a blue geranium. Now, you see, the thing is, these are about £10 to buy these plants. Not a small amount, is it, really? So I've done my blue geranium that I bought a couple of years ago. I've done 3 cuttings on that. 1, 2, 3. That's 30 quid's worth of plants. I suppose you could, if you wanted to. I think that must be how the people in Lincolnshire sell outside their houses. Often you're driving along and someone will have put a sign literally outside their house, plants for sale. I told you this before, haven't I? And then there'd be a little table in their driveway or just outside their house of various different plants, usually tomato plants and cucumber plants and pepper plants at this time of year. And there's a little jar and it might say 40p per plant, help yourself. Please put money in a jar. And everyone does it. No one nicks stuff. No one nicks stuff like that poor bloke who had his motorcycle nicked. No one nicks it. They just put the money in. I did it myself. I was with my sister and her husband a number of weeks ago now, and I wanted some tomato plants. And I said, well, we'll go down to the garden centre. And she said, no, you won't. She said, go outside. They're dirt cheap. And then people, who want to make... They only make a few quid. We're not talking tens of hundreds of pounds or anything like that. Probably not even 30 quid. But what they've done, they've obviously done all their own tomato plants. They've done more, and they're outside on a little table, little pots with tomato plants in them. 40p each. Down at the garden centre, £1.50 each. What are you going to do? And you just pick them up. You put them in the back of your car. I think I bought about 6. You put the money in. What's that? 6 times 40. So that's 4, 8, 160, £3.20. Put £3.20 in the jar. If you haven't got the change, then put a little bit more in. £3.50 or whatever you got. Drive off. Done. Marvellous. I might do that myself next year. I could do that with all... I've got such a wonderful garden here. So many plants. Hydrangeas are really easy. And they're not cheap plants, hydrangeas. 15 quid, 20 quid. They are so easy to do. You just cut off that little bit that's growing and scrape the bit at the bottom, put it in the earth like I just told you. Make sure the earth is always wet. If that dries out, you've had it. Don't let that earth ever dry out on a new cutting or anything like that, okay? Good morning to Joanna. Good morning, Joanna. I think I might sing your name in future, Joanna, as you love my singing so much. Morning to Dr. SRS Gregorian, who's running iOS 13. Develop Beta 2. I don't know what that is. Is that for this? Is that for the iPhone? I don't do those beta ones. No, you don't want that, mate. Do not ever try a beta software, although software companies do need people to try this. If you're really not technical minded, never ever download beta software because it fails. It can fail. They haven't completed doing it yet, have they? All right. Am I talking about Martin and Sharon's house? That's my sister Sharon and her husband Martin. No, they don't sell plants, but when I'm up there, because I've spent half the time in a caravan, Roy. Actually, how long have you been with us now? Is this the first week you've been with us? I think it is, isn't it, Roy? Yeah, half of my shows come from here in Bracknell in Berkshire and the other half in Lincolnshire at our Lincolnshire Television Studio Complex, otherwise known as my caravan. All right, so when I'm up there, was when we're driving along and we saw the plants. I have seen it down here, actually. Someone was advertised doing plants and all that, and me and my mate, we went round to the house, but they weren't cheap. They were just the same price as they are in shops. Very disappointed. Troll under your bed says my head looks like a willy. Does it really? Just a little bit, perhaps. Thank you very much. What else have I done? So today I've got to go to B&Q. I've got to get a new pull switch. You know, the light switch for the bathroom. That's the one in the caravan. That's gone wrong. I also am going to Toyota. And that's it, really. That's all I'm doing. Me and my mate, we might go to the garden centre later. He was feeling a bit down yesterday. He's a bit fed up with all his illnesses. He does have a lot wrong with him. The breathing. He's got a particular problem with breathing at the moment. And funnily enough, he was down the hospital yesterday. And sometimes he's at home and he gets terrible sweats and he's ill and he don't want to get out of bed. So we might be going out to the little garden centre. Probably might not. I say that we're not going to buy anything. You know, but we've come away with trolleys full of stuff from there before, so that might happen. That might happen, but we must try. We must try not to buy stuff that we don't need. All right, good. Roy, can you wipe the floor with that head? I can try. Hang on a minute. No, it would hurt, wouldn't it? Look, it's bald there. I'll tell you what, Troll, you know when that bloke gets, you know the bloke in the hairdresser and they get that thing, zzz, zzz, zzz. I have to tell them, be careful on the top of my head because it's really sensitive there. And you go, zzz, zzz. Ow! Some of them really dig that thing in hard. They take chunks of head out of chunks of flesh coming out of my head, ended up on the barber's floor. Awful. Zzz, zzz. You know that thing? Hurts my head, it does. Roy, there's lots of people selling veg from their houses near me in Cambridgeshire. Yes, that happens in Lincolnshire as well. You always go past these places. New potatoes, £1 a pound, or carrots, or stuff like that. Yeah, it all happens up in Lincoln. It's wonderful up there. You know, I will move up there at some point. I really will. Good. Let's do dreams this morning. Now, I had a dream last night. Does anyone do dreams? Anyone know what's meant by dreams? I know some people tend to think that if you're having certain dreams, it means something. So here was my dream last night. I went to look at a house. I went to go and buy a house, and I was shown around by a lady. And this house, there was a lot of glass in the house. Now, I don't mean glass ornaments or glasses, as in window glass. Okay? The whole thing seemed to be just like a giant conservatory, although the roof was solid. I don't remember going upstairs in this dream. It was just downstairs. It was more like a bungalow type affair. But it was just like a large conservatory. And the internal walls inside the house were also mainly of glass, although there were some bits holding the house up, you know, like pillar type things, maybe. The doors were not glass. The doors were wooden, I think. But, for example, so if you had the living room there, the bedroom would be here, and you could see into the living room because it was all glass. And I thought, and I'm walking around this house, and then I thought, oh, is that the toilet? And the toilet itself was in a room, and you could see through to the living room. And I thought, oh, I'm not keen on that. I remember thinking that in the dream. I'm not keen on you know, being able to see the toilet from the living room while I'm sitting there watching the telly. The bedroom was glass, and I've got this thing in my mind that I'd like a bedroom. Now, I do have two windows in my bedroom, but actually when I'm in bed, all I can see is the top of the trees. I'd actually like a bedroom where the glass goes from the top to the bottom, so as you wake up, you can see the garden outside or the fields, whatever happens to be in front of you. Funny enough, my cousin in Australia, his mother-in-law is a delightful lady in Canberra. She's got a house a bit like that. One side of it, the side where her garden is, so that's not the public side, okay? So the side where her garden is, and no one can see in because it's her garden, okay? So no one can see in. But that side of the house is glass from top to bottom. And it's lovely to be able to wake up and just, you know, maybe open your eyes and see whatever you've got in your garden, whether it's just flowers or lawn or pond. You imagine see a pond. As you wake up, you see the little wildlife and birds and that washing themselves in the pond. How lovely would that be? Anyway, so back going to this house. Yes, and even the internal walls on this house were made of glass. And then I woke up. So does that mean anything? Does anyone know if that means anything? Roy says a lot of dreams don't make sense. No, but I woke up wanting to be in that house. I'll tell you that now. I actually woke up wanting to be in that house that was all glass. And I remember walking around and I thought, oh, it must get very hot in here in the summer. You know, conservatories get extremely hot in the summer and very, very cold in the winter. I think Ray Reynolds has got a conservatory, if I remember rightly. Do you have heating in your conservatory, Ray? As a matter of interest. Wonder if you have heating there. Anyone know what that means? Dr. S.S. Gregorian says, me and you are the bald eagles. We are the bald eagles, aren't we? And on the same subject of dreams and sleep, there's an article in the Daily Mail this morning, and it says, what sleep says about your body. Most psychologists agree that our unconscious, that's probably you most of the time, our unconscious body language reveals a lot about our state of mind and even our relationships. But what lessons can we learn from the positions and postures we adopt when we sleep? I don't know how you sleep. I must admit, I tend to sleep like a soldier, or sometimes like that, with my legs together, with my arms like that, like I'm about to be nailed to a cross or something, or sometimes like this. Yeah, I might be sleeping like that. Generally, the legs are together though. And then it goes through some things on how you sleep. For example, who sleeps like a log? So that would be hands by your side in a straight line on one side. Okay? It says the second most popular sleep position, you lie on one side with your legs straight and your arms down by your side. So that's called the log, right? What it says about you, you've got to tell me how you sleep, incidentally. How do you sleep? Wait till you've heard these and you can tell me. Log sleepers are generally relaxed, positive people who think the best of others. Oh, that's me. I think wonderful things about you. I do. Sociable by nature, people love to be around you. However, your laid-back attitude can make you appear gullible. And while it's good to be easygoing, at times it's crucial to openly express your opinions. And if you don't want to lie awake, worrying people are taking advantage. Don't worry that people are taking advantage. Is that you? Are you a log? Or do you sleep like this? A soldier, okay? So a soldier, you're down on your back, you sleep on your back with your arms straight down at your sides as if standing to attention. Now, sometimes I sleep like that. Let's see what it says. Soldier sleepers are likely to be strong, silent types. Well, that's not me, is it? Well, actually, I'm very quiet at home, you know. I talk a lot when I'm doing this because it's a talk show, but I'm very, very quiet when I'm on my own. I am. Often quiet and reserved. You don't like to make waves. This is what a load of crap this is. This rather rigid sleep position suggests a love of structure in other areas of your life too. Well, I do like a bit of structure, as you know. Yes, I like to be up at a certain time, at the pool at a swimming time, at a certain time, having lunch at a certain time. I do like structure in my life, I do. Serious-minded, you set exacting standards both for yourself and others. Taking up an artistic hobby where you are encouraged to express yourself more freely could help you cope with the stresses you sometimes place on yourself and improve the quality of your sleep. Is that you? Are you one of those? Which sleep type person are you? That is the question for you this morning. How about the baby? Oh no, the starfish. Here's the starfish. You lie on your back with your arms and legs outstretched, just like a starfish, or your hands tucked behind the pillow. Well, I am like that, but my legs are usually close together. It says, while this is the least popular position, those who sleep like this tend to be confident, but don't necessarily like to be the centre of attention. Oh, it's not me then, is it? The open position suggests you are a good listener and may often go out on your way to help family and friends. Don't forget to look after yourself, though. A little pampering before bed will help you sleep better. Any of these remotely you, do you think? Have I come across your sleep position yet? And does what they say reflect on how you are? There's the baby position. The baby position, also known as the fetal position. You like to sleep curled up on your side with one or both of your knees bent up and pulled in towards your torso. It says about you sleeping with your knees curled up, as you once did in the womb, is I can't remember that long ago, can you? What was it like in your mum's womb? Does anyone remember? Was it nice and warm? Was it a bit gurgly? I can imagine it sounded very much like bubbles in a womb somewhere, wouldn't it? It suggests you may appear to have a tough exterior. You have a soft centre that you feel you need to protect. A natural worrier, you can sometimes struggle to sleep. Activities that encourage mindfulness, such as meditation, yoga, and regular exercise, could all help dispel racing thoughts. Your cautious nature means it may take you a while to trust people and open up to them, but once you do, you are loving and a generous friend. Oh, yes. What about the skydiver? Are you a skydiver? You sleep on your stomach with your head turned to one side and your hands tucked under the pillow. Either side of your head like that, like that. What it says about you, if you feel comfortable sleeping in this free fall position, like you jumped out of a plane. Why anyone would want to jump out of a plane, I don't know. Didn't we have someone on there, didn't we have someone here last night yesterday morning who had jumped out of a plane? I think it was John, wasn't it? He's done it twice. Jumped up probably to raise money for charity, which is all well and good, but why would anyone want to jump out of a plane, eh? Can't you just go on a sponsored walk? Much easier, dear. One of my friends is on a walk at the moment. He's in Portugal, John Rogers. And he's gone on a solo walk in Portugal with a rucksack on his back. He's got a tent in there. I used to do that in the Scouts. I'm considering doing that. Yeah. In either the Highlands of Scotland or perhaps the Lake District, somewhere like that. Or even the Lincolnshire Wolds, actually. Trouble is, I'm no good with a compass. I can read foot maps. I can read if there's footpaths, proper footpaths. But, as a scout, we were supposedly taught, I just couldn't do it, really, to get a map and a compass, and you kind of put the compass on the map, and then it tells you what way to go. I couldn't do that, unfortunately. I got a load of kids lost once. It was terrible. Terrified. I thought I'd never find my way back again. Got lost. I'm very good at getting myself lost. But if there's generally footpaths, that's not too bad. Anyway, back to this. The freefall position. You're probably very direct, which can sometimes come across as brash or insensitive. This might be me. But I don't sleep like that, really. You also may use your free-spirited exterior to disguise your insecurities and need for control. So there we are. There's just a few of the various different ways that you can sleep and what it says about you. Whether or not it's right or not, I don't know. Maureen says, I sleep on my back soldier position. So let's just check what that is, that back one, soldier position. What we were saying there. There it is, the soldier. So it says you are a strong, silent type, Maureen. As if standing soldier sleepers like to be strong, silent types, often quiet and reserved, and you don't like to make waves. That's pretty good for you, isn't it? I reckon that's pretty good for you. You sit there quietly. Don't like to make waves. You never complain, do you, Maureen? I wish there were some more people like you in the world. I really do. Roy was in the army for 18 years as the Royal Engineers, and he goes to sleep on his back. Thank you, Roy. Yes. Claire sleeps in the fetal position for me, and everything it said, spot on. Now, what did it say about the fetal position? Hang on, the baby, wasn't it? So, it appears you've got a tough exterior. You have a soft centre that you feel you need to. Oh, yeah. I know you've got a soft centre, Claire. I can feel it. I can feel the slight bit of embarrassment sometimes when I'm talking to you in the I know you've got you're a wonderful person, Claire. I feel your good waves. I feel good waves from you when I'm in the pub. And I mean that. I really do. Good morning to Ian Days. Morning to the show. Welcome to the show, Ian. All right. Good morning to Ronnie Gardner. What am I? That's my mate there, Ronnie. We were just talking about you earlier. I was saying you were feeling a little bit down, my love. Okay, because of your illnesses. Are we going to the little garden centre later and have a look round there? Eh? Oh, you don't want me to buy you lunch, do you? I'm so poor. I'm poor. I've just bought a refurbished computer and a piano, actually. I bought a new piano yesterday for the caravan. Just not very expensive one. What am I, dear Ronnie? Well, I don't know. I don't sleep with you. It's like 30 years since I slept with you. Thank God for that. Fortunately, that memory is just about going from my mind. It will completely be cleared out at some point. Roy's got to go and he's got a busy day. Bye-bye, Roy. What do you do, Roy? Do you work? Do you work, Roy? I'm not sure what you do. Dr. SOS Gregorian wasn't born at all. He's not been born yet. How'd you work that out then? Oh, dear me. Good. Excellent. Right, what else have we got here? Ice cream vans. Tunes from ice cream vans. I'm trying to remember what tune the ice cream van plays around here. But nevertheless, known as noisy, smelly things, aren't they, ice cream vans? Good morning to Quack10, joining us there on Vaughan Live. Welcome to the show, sir. Ice cream vans, what tunes do they play? Do you remember? Well, as I say, known as noisy, diesely, smelly things, Nissan have launched an electric ice cream van. Ding, 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 ding. I'm trying to think of the... Is Edelweiss one? Ding, 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 ding. No, it's not, is it? Ice cream van tunes. Ding, 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 ding. No, can't think. Anyone think of the tune coming out of your local ice cream van when it comes around? They brought an electric one out. Nissan. Here we go. It says, Nissan has created a state-of-the-art electric ice cream van with the groundbreaking zero-emissions vehicle, complete with a fridge, freezer, solar panels, and the most important thing on an ice cream van, a soft-serving ice cream machine. Yes, a Mr. Whippy. Oh. Do you want some sprinkles on that? Yes, please. What would you like? Hundreds and thousands. Thank you. Do you want some sauce on that? Yes, please. Caramel. £1, please. What, £1 if you're in Skegness, £3 bloody 40 if you're down at the Italian ice cream place at Long Acres Garden Centre here in Berkshire. Jesus, he's expensive. It's like I think it's about £3.60 now for a tub of ice cream down at the Long Acres Garden Centre here in Bracknell. Skegness, £1 a cone. Outrageous what we're charged down here for stuff. Anyway, parents and children currently find themselves queuing up for ice cream while a van pumps out harmful emissions from its idling engine. Yeah, they are a bit smelly ice cream machines, aren't they? They really are. It's an issue which is prompting councils across the UK to consider banning them in town centres, while older vans in London face huge costs to drive into the ultra-low emission zone. Which my car, incidentally, is excluded from that. I have no very, very low emissions coming from the car. It's just myself that's the problem. The emissions that come from me are frightening sometimes. The car, perfectly all right. I was walking into London the other day, walking, boys and girls, and I was flagged up by the police. Yes, they stopped me. He stopped me and says, have you paid your low emission fee for that arse of yours as you're walking down? Anyway, Nissan has teamed up with ethical ice cream producer Mackie's of Scotland. Now, they're quite nice ice cream. Mackie's of Scotland. To create an all-electric, zero-emission ice cream van. The prototype, which is based on the Nissan... I didn't know Nissan did electric vans, but they do. The ENV200 electric van has been fitted with a soft-serve machine, freezer drawer, and drinks fridge. Ice cream It's served from a hatch, as it normally is, that opens at the side of the vehicle with the vendor dispensing ice cream standing next to the van. So they're not actually in the van, they're standing next to it. That kind of doesn't work for me, does it you? The ice cream person should be in the van, surely. Why would you want to be out of it? Anyway, the van has a driving range of up to 124 miles between charges, courtesy of the 40 kilowatt battery, while the equipment is powered by the newly unveiled Nissan Energy Roam, it's called. Roam is a portable power pack that uses lithium-ion cells recovered from early first-generation Nissan electric vehicles, providing a sustainable second life for Nissan EV batteries. It's got solar panels on the roof as well. The power packs can be recharged from either a 230-volt main supply or the solar panel array on the van's roof. But I would imagine they don't get too much power from those solar panels on the roof. You know, generally with solar panels, you've got to have a lot. I mean, certainly on my roof, I think I've got a 3 kilowatt system on my roof, which I've had now for over 10 years, and it saves me an absolute fortune in electricity prices. It really does. Quack says, just had one play on my street today. It was old school Pop Goes the Weasel. Ah, yes, that's the one I'm looking for. Thank you very much, Quack. The noise that comes out of that ice cream machine. And isn't it funny, sometimes the ice cream vans, the music's playing and it goes wrong, doesn't it? Have you ever heard an ice cream van where the music goes wrong? I've heard that before as well. Well, you can't beat a Mr. Whippy ice cream, can you? Thank you. Some of your messages then. Ray says his conservative faces east and therefore gets the sun from the start of the day till about half two in the afternoon. Yeah, my garden actually only gets the sun for half the day as well. It's out there. It's almost round now. In the middle of summer, which of course we're at, tomorrow is the longest day of the year, of course, tomorrow. And as we get into the summer, I get between sort of 11 a.m. and 4 p.m. I get the sun in my back garden, so the opposite time to you, Ray. It's great this time of year, as you can have the sliding door open all day and enjoy the patio and garden. Oh, it's lovely, Ray. It's lovely. I've no heating out there. It does get cold in the winter, but it's not worth having. I don't bother with blinds, as the more sun, the better. Direct sun can bleach books, and you certainly would melt an old 45 record, really, when the temperature reaches 100 degrees or more in his conservatory there. You saying it gets cold in there. My neighbours had a conservatory. They've had it about 12, 14 years ago. I remember when it went up. And he did have, I think he's got a radiator put in there, but he said in the winter you just couldn't use it. It was so cold in there. He had the roof replaced. So instead of having the glass roof, which most you probably have got yourself there, Ray, instead of having the glass roof, he had that taken off and he had a solid roof put on with insulation. Cost him £10,000 just for the roof. Just for the roof, £10,000. And he said it made a massive difference and they can now use it in the colder period with that new roof on. But an expensive thing. Ronnie, Mr. Softy Jingle, that's it. That's Mr. Softy Jingle, isn't it? Why does it go wrong? Mind you saying that, on my laptop, occasionally, it's not happened the last few weeks, occasionally I can be doing a karaoke night and suddenly the music will speed up and we can't work out why that happens, or it will change key. Isn't it odd? I don't know what I have to do to fix that. I literally close the karaoke program and reopen it and it starts working again. But I don't know what's causing it. Now and again, it will happen. It hasn't happened now for about 6 or 7 weeks. And when it does happen, it generally happens once or twice in an evening. Funny, isn't it? Very strange. Mike, there you go. Mike is also Pop Goes the Weasel. That's the one, isn't it? Pop Goes the Weasel. Stuart says, as plays Greensleeves. I wonder what they did before they had those music things and the speakers on the vans. Maybe someone went around with a whistle. Wee, wee, whistle like that. Whistle while you work. Hitler is a jerk. Ray, a 99 used to be 99 pence with a Cadbury's flake. Oh, it still is in Skegness, Ray. A 99 is now like £2.50. I've seen ice cream vans in London charging a fiver for an ice cream. It's outrageous. Morning to John Aitken. Oh, you managed to make it, dear. 9:45. Christ, we've been here nearly 50 minutes, dear. Do try and get up on time for the show. John says, I'm ready to go into the gym. I've lost £4 in a week. Well, check your pockets again. There might be older than them, mate. I've lost £4 in a week. I need to lose a few more stones until I'm happy with my body. Well, mine is just going up and up at the moment. I'm now at 12 stone 8. 13 stone 8. 13 stone 8. It was at 40. It was just below 14 stone when I joined Slimming World. And I don't think I'm being particularly bad with food. I really don't. Is it bothering? You see, this is the thing. It's not bothering me that much. What bothers me is that I bought new clothes and they won't fit anymore. You know, these lovely jeans that I bought from Selfridges, £200 they were. Can't put them on now. They would be painful to do them up. Even the Levi's, I can't put those anymore on. So, but apart from that, I'm reasonably happy. I just work 3 nights a week now. I've got 3 lovely jobs that I love doing. Really, by the end of the night, I get very tired at the end of the night. I must say nowadays, probably something to do with my age, and I just want to go home at the end of the night. Once I finish a job, that's it. Like kind of 12 o'clock or 11 o'clock comes, and I completely switch off from what I've just been doing. I get into my car. I don't even think about it on the way back. And I just want to go home. That's what I say to you. Usually when I finish a job, I like to be out that door as quickly as possible. I really do. It's just how it is. Quack's not liking the green sleeves, are you? Are you really? No. It's not right for an ice cream van, green sleeve. It's all right for a telephone on hold, you will be connected shortly. No, but not, you're quite right, not for an ice cream van. It's got to be nursery rhymes and children type things. That's what you want. Children, I'm surprised. I wonder if that ice cream van would go into that estate where the bloke had his moped. The kids would surround the ice cream van and steal it, wouldn't they? Dreadful. John says he's been busy. He's 30, almost 13 stone. Well, you're less than me. You're less than me. It's the jelly belly I hate. Me too. That's where it all is. It's around your waist and your belly, isn't it? The blokes up at the gym where I go swimming, they say the biggest problem we have, and you as well, John, is age is not with us. Age is against us. You remember when you was a young lad, John? You're going out of a bag of crisps, couple of bars of chocolate. All these snacks, nothing happened. You never put on a single ounce. You just remained the same weight all the time. It's your age is against you. We have to work twice as hard as everyone else, unfortunately. Good morning to Adrian Richardson, who's only 10 stone. Is that one of your legs, Adrian, is it? 10 stone, mate? Please, 10 stone. Having a laugh, ain't you? You must be tipping the scales at about 25 or 30 stone now, surely. I felt sorry for that chair you were sitting on. I thought it was rotting. It wasn't. It was just dying. The chair was dying underneath you. John's nearly 52. Well, I'm 56, John. 56. God, 4 years till I'm 60. How did that happen? And we're lucky to be here, John. Remember that? You know the story. We're very lucky to be here. Very lucky to be here. Mike, how long does it take you to pack up your gear after a karaoke? I start packing up the gear actually around about 10 minutes before I'm due to finish, because there are certain things I can do. For example, unplug the electricity leads from the computers, then they're running on the batteries, so they've gone away. Any spare microphones go away. The laptop, the broadcast laptop, is put away like around about 10 minutes before I'm due to finish. And then I can be out the door within 10 minutes, believe it or not. And I like to be in my car and away as quickly as possible. That doesn't mean I haven't enjoyed the night, because I have. But you see, the job is done. The job is done. It's like, I don't know what jobs you all do, various jobs. I very much doubt it comes to your time, say that's 5 o'clock at night. Do you want to hang around for a couple of minutes? No, I want to go home. Or do my long drive up to Lincolnshire, especially on a Monday. Especially on a Monday. I know that I've got anything between a 2.5 hour to 3 hour drive to go up north. So I like to be in that car as quickly as possible and away. There was one bloke who used to, oh God, he just wouldn't go away. Young bloke he was, and he would talk, and he would come up as I was trying to pack up, and he would keep talking to me, and he would come and you're trying to tidy stuff up, and there's a table there, and you lean over there, and they're coming forward, and I'd like, go away, leave me alone. And he would, oh, do you want any help? No, just go away and leave me alone. Going out the door, and he would follow me out to the car, rabbit, all the time. Oh God, can't bear it. I can't bear people that just talk and talk unnecessarily. I really can't. We are very lucky, John. We really are. But yeah, I can be in the car in about 10 minutes' time. All right. Now, have I got anything to tell you? One more thing. Here's an idea. Here's an idea in this morning's Daily Mirror, boys and girls. In the Daily Mirror, this was one for the kids. All right, kids? Here's an idea for your kids. Gaming addicts. A gaming addict allegedly tried to poison his own parents after they forced him to stop playing by unplugging the internet router. There you go, kids. There's an idea for you. Next time your mum and dad does that, put some poison in the potato when they're cooking it. This bloke who's 29 returned home drunk at 29 and is still living at home. God, blimey. Returned home drunk and started playing games on his smartphone with the volume turned up while his parents were trying to sleep, it was claimed. His stepfather, who's 52, said he woke up and unplugged the Wi-Fi box, attempting to stop Sack, that's his name, S-A-K, from disturbing other people at their home. But Sack instead allegedly went on a rampage, cursing at his stepfather before smashing the house walls. This is what people are like playing their computer games. It's an obsession, computer games. I'm sure it's an obsession. He said he had no choice but to hit him to calm him down from acting aggressively. Well, the next morning, his mother claimed she discovered insoluble pesticides floating on the family home's garden while she was going out to take some water for cooking rice. The shaken mother said she was shocked that her own son allegedly tried to kill her and her husband. So there we are. If your mum and dad unplugs your Wi-Fi router, can I suggest poison? It may be the only way, but it will allow you to finish your game of Pac-Man or whatever it is. That's where I stopped playing computer. Pac-Man was the last computer game that I used to play. Did you play Pac-Man? Did you get the little fruit thing in the middle? The strawberry or the orange or something like that? Adrian, at least at my stage of life, it's not reinforced like the one you use. I'm so upsetting now, I might be more than 10 stone. You might be. You might be, Adrian. I'm not sure, but you might well be more than 10 stone. Weigh yourself later and have a check and do report back to us. We can't wait to know your actual weight, okay? All right. We'll leave it there, gang. Let's do today's birthdays. Happy birthday on this Thursday, the 20th of June, 2019, to Millie Turk. Motorised Millie is in the house, and today she is a young 46 years old. Good morning, Millie. Happy birthday to you, my dear. Happy birthday to you. Ricky Bentley, good morning, Ricky. Happy birthday to you today. Doesn't say your age, but happy birthday anyway, my love, all right? Jimmy D is in the house. Good morning, Jimmy D. He was a DJ. It's around about the same time as I was doing my DJing. Happy birthday to you. Allan Greed Hare is 46 years old today. Happy birthday, Allan. Tina Russell, good morning. Happy birthday to you. Christopher Wallace today, a young 33 years old. Happy birthday, Chris. And Nuno F.H. Oliveira is today 35 years old. Happy birthday, boys and girls. Joanna, here we go. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday to you. will be pleased to know that I have at last put my happy birthday song on my memory stick, and I shall be taking that down to the caravan so that in future, Joanna, I'll be singing to you from the caravan as well as here at the Lincolnshire Television Studios, all right? Mike says people who talk about stuff and nonsense is so irritating. I find it is, Mike. I can't bear it myself. I really can't. John was obsessed with Pac-Man in the 1980s. Yeah, it was good, wasn't it? I liked Pac-Man. Very inoffensive little game. I think I got as far as the orange, whatever that is. You know, the orange, where you've got that bit of fruit that you had to... boo, that one. Voice of a pub singer, I beg your pardon. I'm a professional trained singer, I'll have you know. Paul, how rude are you? Good morning to Guy. Stephen Sowes. Good morning, Guy. I'm afraid you joined us a little bit too late. We're about to finish now, my darling. All right. But thanks for checking in there. It's nice to see you, sir. That's it for the show today. Thank you very much. I'm going to... what have I got to do now? I don't know if I should go swimming this morning or tonight, actually. Nighttime seems to be a bit... I think I'd do nighttime swimming today. I've got some bits and pieces to do today. My mate's off down to the hospital as well, so I shall be seeing him a bit later. Possibly going to the garden centre and, fingers crossed, not buying any more plants. Dear me. Have a nice day. Thanks for watching and listening. Cheerio now.